What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today we'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for strategy B with the ticker symbol MSTR. I will first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So no gauges today because I don't think it adds value to the analysis, and I think it's probably a little bit more confusing than simplifying the analysis. So I'm just going to be analyzing the price charts instead of illustrating it via gauges in terms of being bullish or bearish. So let's take a look at the daily chart for MSTR. So Monday is a green slight down day, but the candlestick is green. Looks like price gap down, traded higher, and filled in the gap, and then traded back down to finish the day, close the candle in the green. But it's still a bearish day regardless, even though the candle is green. We're right at the support of right around 360. We traded to 358, but we closed right around 363. So still holding this 360 support level. However, there's still bearish signs on the chart. We're still below this trend line right here, so that means the downtrend is still in play, and we're still below the EMA, which signifies that the trend is still in play to the downside. And also we have a measure move target in play lower as well. One leg down right here, and this is the second leg down, attempting to reach the 322 level. So 320, 322 is a target for a breakdown lower. If price does break down lower and it holds something like this, if we do see a breakdown lower and it reaches the target first, there's a good chance it probably leads to a failed breakout higher. However, if we break out and we hold below the level and then we go down, there's a high likelihood we could continue to trend down. So either way, MSTR, I'm not going to be bullish until we can break this downward sloping trend line, and I'm not going to be bullish long term until we can break this 430, 440 level, because obviously that's been a very long-term resistance for a while now. So MSTR, the longer it goes sideways, the less and less bullish it is long term. So me personally, I was expecting price to rally from here, back here in July. I mean, this was the perfect bullish setup right here. You see that we had, let me go ahead and show you guys that right now. We had a nice leg up right here, followed by a correction. You can see the correction down couldn't even come back halfway of the move up. So if you do like a fib retracement, let's see where that tool is right here. So from low to high, price only retraced about what, like 38%. I think that's correct. It was only a 16% drop, so only retrace about a third, a little bit more than a third down of this move up higher. So that's a very bullish sign. And then price, corrected, started moving up higher. So the expectation was a similar size leg in the future, something like this. So you would be working with this on the chart. You would not see what would happen on the right side. So you would think that price, after a large spike up and a third of a correction down, followed by another move up, can lead to a similar size move in the future, targeting the prior all-time high. But no, that did not happen. So price got really bearish right around this 440 level when he sold off strongly. I would have gave it another chance to move up higher if maybe we dropped down lower, but not as much. So that was not a good sign that we dropped down this much. Maybe if it dropped down halfway, it would have been fine and we could have reignited uptrend. But basically when price broke this bullish trend line as well, that was not a good sign. So those two very bearish signs. Price not able to reach the measure target, and then breaking the bullish trend line. So that was showing, okay, this thing is like given up already. Like why would we still be bullish when this stock does not look really good? Anyway, it traveled down, and then we gave it another chance. If it was going to move up higher from here, like this, that would have been bullish, but we stopped halfway and we came back down to the lows again. So this thing just continues to be bearish. It's not trying to move up higher. So we need to change our mindset. Me personally, I already gave up on the stock already just a few days ago. I'm not bullish long term as of right now until we can get above 440. Right now, I'm expecting lower prices. $4,000 was my target by the end of the year, potentially a little bit later. And if it wasn't going to happen this year, it's going to happen probably next cycle. I don't think it's going to, I think there's a high possibility it won't happen this year anymore. I think I was calling that out when price was, way back over here, probably March-ish, April, maybe even May. So look how many months we just went sideways, right? So if the analysis is not working out as planned, then we can do something else. We can ignore it. It's not working out, and we need to plan for something else. We need to switch gears. So right now, it looks like the market is, or the stock itself is pretty bearish still. and I'm expecting more downside. Could I be wrong and we break the trend line and then we break the 440? Well, yes, but then that will probably give an opportunity to enter for higher prices. Until then, this is all bearish to me. Even though, yes, typically sideways trading after a move up is bullish, the thing is not for this long. You don't want to see price trading for this long sideways. That just means it's bearish. So again, MSTR just not looking as strong as it once did. A lot of disappointing price action for the bulls, and most likely this will continue to end up trading lower. Looking at Bitcoin Treasuries list, still number one. I think this is probably still going to be the most valuable company in the world. It's just going to take a lot longer to play out. Maybe not this cycle. Now, obviously, it's going to be probably a few more cycles later. But they hold 629,376 BTC, more than the second place by a large margin. And they just announced they bought more Bitcoin, 430 to add to the stack to equal 629,376. Looking at Bitcoin's chart, Bitcoin is looking bearish as well. So similar situation, Bitcoin is being a little bit disappointing as well. It made a marginal high and it was a double top. So we made a high, sold off, made a high, sold off again. So it looks like a double top, a marginal high above this one. That's not what you want to see in this late of a trend. If this is going to follow the normal 4-year cycle, it tops out October, November, or even December of this year. I mean, look how low it is, only 123,000. It should be probably about 170,000 by now. It's just very weak. It's not supposed to be having a double top this early or this late in a mature trend. That's not a good sign. So we did semi break this bullish trend line right here. We can still recover it, but we did break it with a minor move. And it looks like we could just be moving down towards maybe the 112 level, potentially even go slightly below that. So overall, Bitcoin also looking bearish right now. It's able to withstand the selling pressure more than MSTR, but overall Bitcoin is also still bearish. And again, we need to break 123 to be bullish long term, because right now it's been a pretty strong resistance. So Bitcoin not doing as good as not doing as good as it could, but better than MSTR. And then looking at the ratio between Bitcoin's price against MSTR's price, still right around that 320 level. So MSTR is not underperforming Bitcoin just yet. If we do see this level fail and we see a move up higher towards late high 300s, low 400s, then obviously MSTR is severely underperforming Bitcoin. And it looks like that is possible. We have a leg up right here, followed by a second leg up, targeting right around the 430. The only problem is that there were a couple attempts up, failed right here, or is about to fail here. We could see a strong move down. And then if you look at the weekly chart, the trend is still down. So that means MSTR typically will continue to outperform Bitcoin over time, but we are in a pullback. So it's pulling back in this downtrend. So it could pull back even higher than people think. So we'll see what happens. But if that level holds for Bitcoin, MSTR, and we start seeing price move up higher and then Bitcoin starts dropping, then this obviously will start moving down lower. So this is still in an indecision place. It's in a place called a transition zone, where it could break, but it could hold. We don't know what will happen in the future. But as right now, it's slightly bullish because we're still above the trend line. So looking back at MSTR, so we'll see if that breaks down or holds in the coming days and weeks. I'm expecting a breakdown. Would you really buy this level? Let's just think about that logically. We had a failure to break out of the 440 with a strong move down. So we had a strong move up, correction. Looks like we were going to get a similar size leg in the future. Absolutely got failed or demolished. Just a slight break up, sold off strongly, took back basically this entire second leg up. And now we saw a lackluster bounce followed by a drop down lower back to support. And we're seeing a mediocre bounce from that support level. So is that really a zone to buy? Probably not. That's why you don't really see a lot of demand going on at this level at this moment. Things can change, but it looks like traders are probably waiting for lower prices. I don't think they want to be buying right now. It doesn't look like the best spot. They might get out early at the trend line, or you might break it, but I would be surprised if we start seeing a aggressive amount of buying from here. It doesn't look likely from what has happened already. Looking at the weekly chart, let's go to the log scale. Here's the weekly chart log scale, and then let's remove all the drawings. So there were two trend lines I was focusing on for this entire uptrend. The first one is the primary one. This one right here, this one is still valid. You connect the first three swings together, we're still far away from the trend line, still in play. And then I was looking at this trend line right here. So this one, depending on how you draw it, is either invalidated or still in play. So if you draw it like this, which is I would say more correct, then it looks like we saw a breakdown, retest, and a resumption lower of the trend line. But if you just scoot it over slightly, or you make a little more slanted, even then it's still technically, breaking down. It's not really showing signs of strength. So unless bulls can immediately recover the trend line, this is not looking like a good sign. So overall, it looks like this is probably more valid, that we did see a break of the secondary trend line, most likely headed towards the primary trend line, this one right here, and quite a bit of ways down. So MSTR just not looking as bullish as it once did. I would need to see immediate reversal from the 360 level, entering above the 440 to be bullish once again. Until then, long term, it does not look as good as it once did. We're starting to see a break of the trend lines, and short term is also looking bearish as well. So that's all I have for MSTR on the daily and weekly charts. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.